Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Media Files. So today, got a couple of updates. So this time we'll just do both of them in one video due to the upcoming eclipse. Yeah, so I don't know how busy I will be. Probably going to be doing nothing. Probably just, watching movies and stuff like that up until the fun of the eclipse. There might be some eclipse footage loaded to the channel. I don't know yet. It just depends really, on how everything goes with this thing. So on top of that, with that, let's get things started. So we got ourselves a good little mom and pop shop run, as well as a Goodwill run, and also a small, tiny disc replay run. They were having a sale. They have their buy three get six free sale, and I looked and looked, and I wasn't finding hardly of anything, like at all. And I'm like, okay, well this sucks. I'm not really finding much, so I kind of decided, well, I just wanted this one DVD. Because I know I don't have this particular edition, and I only found one Blu-ray there. So the DVD I found, of course, it is a military classic. Look what I say, but it's also an Oliver Stone classic. One that I think I have not actually seen all the way through, but I haven't not seen this particular edition. So here we have Platoon. This is the 20th anniversary 2-disc collector's edition. Which has this really cool sleeve, which just comes right off, and is loaded with features, by the way, which is awesome. It has 2 audio commentaries, documentaries, and whatnot, and obviously this scene has been, reenacted so many times, especially in Tropic Thunder, of course, parodied by, Ben Stiller. And then I found, Adam Driver's latest movie, as well as the latest Michael Mann film. We've got Ferrari on Blu-ray. Yeah, can't wait to see this. It looks awesome. I'm a sucker for anything of Michael Mann. I've seen most of his films, but not quite all of them yet. But that's also a work in progress. So let's see here. Let's get through the let's go through the Goodwill stuff. Yeah, so first up, it's kind of, everything in here is kind of miscellaneous and whatnot, but I'm like, why not? All right, so first up, we have a movie that I remember it was being promoted on at the time, way back when TV actually had made-for-TV movies. It was promoted on TNT, especially after The Matrix was out. And this was supposed to be a really awesome movie, but it was kind of, I don't know, the flow of it was awful because of them having to add all the commercials and everything into it, so it was kind of hard to follow. And I'm kind of surprised I actually found a copy on DVD. I didn't even know that this movie got released. Mind you, this movie is, let's see, when did this come out? I want to say this movie, as right now, is probably about 20-some years old. But here we have a movie starring Billy Zane from, of course, Titanic. We have Invincible, executive produced by Mel Gibson and Jet Li. Yeah, also starring Byron Mann. Of course, you may know him from Street Fighter, who he plays Ryu. Let's see here. Alrighty, up next. Now, I'm surprised I have not seen this yet. I don't know how I haven't. But it just looks like such a cool movie, but I've never actually seen it. And I know they've made a TV series out of it now, and I've been trying to track that down. Plus, I want to get the comics as well, if I can ever find those. But here we have from Academy Award-winning director Bong Joon-ho, who, of course, did Parasite. We have on Blu-ray Snowpiercer. Yeah, I've never seen this. It just looks so awesome. I mean, you got Chris Evans there with an axe, and, I know it's set on a train and whatnot, and it goes, like, the further up that they go, the more luxurious, apparently, it gets or something, but that's all I really know out of it, and it sounds so cool. So, yeah. Then up next, we have a movie that just kind of caught my eye or whatever. But of course, I do have the Kenneth Branagh movie of this, but I haven't actually watched it yet. But it's kind of cool that they found the actual ship. And so here we have starring. Well, let's see who's actually in this. I have no idea. Anyways, um, so here we have a film directed by George Butler. We have The Endurance about Shackleton, Ernest Shackleton, which is kind of cool. And I've never even heard of this movie. So I'm like, cool. Have to check this one out. So up next we have DVD from my childhood. Um, Sad thing is, I can tell it's got a Walmart sticker on it just because of what's on it. Yes, I have the Gotham City cereal set, but this just looks so much cooler. Um, so unfortunately, I think it's gonna be hard to get the sticker off of here. Maybe let's see. Don't know if I'll be able to get it fully off. Well, let's see. Maybe we'll have some luck. Let's see here. Come on. Are we gonna have any luck? Maybe. Nah, it's gonna be one of those stickers where I have to peel it off layer by layer. Anyways, of course, this definitely brings back loads of childhood memories, and what can we say? In my opinion, one of the best cereals ever made. So here we have with the slipcover, actually, which I think that's kind of rare. Is the complete 1949 movie serial of Batman and Robin. Yeah. Starring, of course, Robert Lowry as Batman and John Duncan, of course, as Robin. This is where they take on the villain, the Wizard, and yeah, and it's definitely out there. Basically, this if you actually kind of really look at this thing, it's cheap, it's awful, but it's awful in a good way. I mean, if you grew up with this like I did, you definitely owe yourself to add this to your Batman collection. And what's kind of cool about it is that the Gotham City serial ones, basically they have the whole thing on like one disc a piece. These are actually separated onto two discs, and they actually have artwork, which is really cool. So there's the first disc, and of course the second disc. The funny thing is that this artwork here on this disc actually is the same artwork on the 1943 serial. So it's made to look all, awesome and cool looking. And this this particular thing is not even in the serial, like, at all. It's just, But what can I say, though? I mean, it's kind of cool that they actually separated it on two discs. And so, the picture quality might be a little bit better. But, yeah. What can we say, though? This is old school Batman, really old school, and I love it. So up next, we have a movie I've been trying to track down for quite a while, and surprisingly, I found it. One of his live action films, and I've never actually seen it. Because like I said, it's always hard to find Japanese films, at least where I'm at. Especially really good ones. But here we have from director Mamoru Oshii, of course, from the director of Ghost in the Shell. We have his live action film. We have Avalon, finally in my collection, which is awesome. I can't wait to watch it. I'm definitely going to watch this over the Eclipse weekend. So then up next, we have a Blu-ray. Now, I do have the DVD of this, but I'm like, well, I need to upgrade it because apparently the Blu-ray has extra bonus content that the DVD does not have. And, apparently I also need to get the first one on Blu-ray as well. But what can I say, though? But this movie is just awesome. It's insane. The fight sequences are friggin' amazing. What can we say? It's an instant classic, especially if you love martial art movies. This is definitely one you need to add to your collection. So here we have The Raid 2. And now this takes place literally like 30 seconds after the first one. So you need to watch the first one and then this. But the fight scenes in this movie are nonstop crazy. It's just awesome. Alrighty, so up next, we actually have a couple more DVDs from my childhood. Yes, I have been trying to find these DVDs forever, and it took me forever to even find this, and I really thought I was going to get one of them, but unfortunately, when I picked it up, one of the discs was missing. I'm like, are you serious right now? But they did manage to have some others. For those of you who were around middle school age, probably around the early 90s, you watched a little channel called Cartoon Network because you watched Toonami, didn't you? I know I did. So they also had what was kind of around the beginning time of Adult Swim, and I found a really cool series. I need to get the other two now. So here we have Volume 1 of Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Yeah. Now, the DVD that I mentioned that did not have had the missing disc, it was the Space Ghost Complete Original Series. And I'm like, are you serious right now? And I'm like, I'm lucky that was in here. Alrighty, so up next, then we have, another spinoff of Cartoon Planet, which was a series that I don't think ever actually got a DVD release as far as I'm concerned. I mean, there may have, but we also have Volume 1 of The Brak Show. Yeah, now these are hard to get. These are hard to find, especially in this good of condition. Because usually kids would watch this type of thing. If it's a cartoon, they figured, well, kids will watch it. Nope. Alrighty. And finally, for the Goodwill run, we have a TV series. Of course, what can we say? I'm a good sucker for a good cop show every now and then, especially if it's a show that I've never seen before. But what can we say? I'm really getting caught up on Miami Vice, the original series, and I'm loving it. And, well, I found one that's pretty similar to it. We have the very first season of the original Hawaii Five-0. Yeah. It just looks awesome. And, what can I say? It's going to be fun to actually watch this for the first time. I mean, I know the series was remade. I think, maybe, I want to say as of now, maybe 8 years ago, maybe? I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, not a bad haul there at Goodwill, but we're not done yet. Oh no, we got the mom and pop stuff to go through. Alrighty, so first up, we have a documentary. Of course, to add this to my Schwarzenegger collection, had to get this just to add to it. One of only very few things I need left for my Schwarzenegger collection. We have a 25th anniversary edition of course, Pumping Iron. Yeah. So, what can we say? Arnold, of course, being one of my favorite actors of all time, Terminator and all that fun stuff. So, up next, we got a Western. Yeah, something to add to my Western collection. This one just sounded interesting. Of course, the movie is, of course, directed by John Sturges, who, of course, is a World War II veteran who was one of the 5 directors that came back from the war and started directing Westerns and other great movies. And he was also good friends, of course, with the late, great John Ford. We have Escape from Fort Bravo. Yeah, it sounded cool, and I'm like, why not? Give it a watch and see. Then up next, we have a double feature pack. Of course, starring, the greatest Frankenstein of all time, Mr. Boris Karloff. We've got a double feature of Isle of the Dead and Bedlam. Of course, what's kind of cool is that Bedlam actually has a commentary on it by film historian Tom Weaver. Never seen any one of these movies, but really like, why not? It's Boris Karloff, what can you go wrong? I mean, gotta have some old school horror in your collection. Alrighty, then up next, we have a movie that's, this is a reacquisition. I've been trying to hunt this down for quite a while. Basically, if it wasn't for this movie, he wouldn't have made the sequel, nor would he have made one of my favorite movies out of his collection, or his filmography, really, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. We have the debut of Timur Bekmambetov. Yeah, that's his name. It's Russian. We have Night Watch. Now, I do have Day Watch. I used to have Night Watch years ago, and I sold it. I don't know why. Probably, I think I was just doing some cleaning out of stuff that I didn't think I would watch anymore. But apparently, this movie's getting harder to find, apparently. So I'm like, well, why not give this movie another shot? And, what can we say? It just looks awesome. Don't really remember it all that well. So I'm like, why not? Alrighty, so up next, we have a DVD from one of the more updated, like rebooted series or whatever, from the, of course, the mid-90s to the early 2000s. We have The Outer Limits. Yeah, the new series. We have, the Sex and Science Fiction Collection. Yeah, I seriously doubt that they'll really show anything as far as that goes. But, I just kind of grabbed it because, well, I've never actually really seen any of the rebooted stuff, and I know sometimes these single disc collections actually have exclusive bonus features that are made strictly just for these individual sets. Let's see here, 7 featurettes, and of course the Outer Limits story documentary. So yeah, pretty cool. I have to track more of those down. Alrighty, well, and as probably a lot of you know, I went to see an Alfred Hitchcock movie the other night, To Catch a Thief. It was okay, not a bad movie. But I did manage to find 2 of my favorite films out of his filmography as part of the Alfred Hitchcock Collector's Edition series, and I'll show you what I mean by that here in a minute. So first off, we have, well, I think probably one of Jimmy Stewart's best roles ever. We have Rear Window, and what I mean by the Alfred Hitchcock Collector's Edition is that every cover art has his signature up here, and this particular side design. So there's I think there's maybe 12 or 13 of them that are like this, and they're kind of tough to track down. So now, mind you, a lot of and all of these actually do come with booklets, and they actually do come with cover art too, which is awesome. And what can I say though? This movie is, it's really good. And if you now, this movie has also actually been remade a couple of times. I did not know this, but it is in the mail. It is coming. Apparently, this movie was remade with Christopher Reeve in 1998, which I've never seen that version. And then there's actually a somewhat modernized version of this movie starring Shia LaBeouf, known as Disturbia. Yeah, not a lot of people knew that when that movie came out. It was actually a modern remake of this movie. And, well, what can we say? This one's definitely up there with one of my favorites. At the time, this was probably my second favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie when I was growing up. We have Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. Yeah. Now, I do have another edition of this in another set, but the edition that is actually missing from my box set never was in there when I purchased it. Same thing with Psycho. Thankfully, though, once I find the other editions, I can just grab those discs and put it in where it needs to be. But what can we say, though? It's loaded with extras, and what can we say, though? Definitely one of Hitchcock's absolute best films, right up there, of course, with Psycho and all that. Okay, so then up next, what do we got here? Well, we got a nice big buttload of stuff still. Let's get the rest out of the bag there. That way I don't have to deal with it. Alrighty, so up next we have, a movie that, well, it's not really a movie. It's more of like a miniseries. Kind of, if you watched AMC, was it AMC or was it A&E? I can't remember. Anyways, if you ever watched the miniseries, Hatfield and McCoys, it's kind of like that. Of course, it's a remake. Of course, they have a great 60s gangster real life story. I'm talking about the true life story of Bonnie and Clyde. Now, this particular edition stars Emile Hirsch, aka Speed Racer, as Clyde, and Holiday Granger, of course, as Bonnie. Now, this movie is, let's see here, how long is it? Yeah, a little over 3 hours, or just about 3 hours. And these, they was shown in three parts, so like a mini series type of thing. Pretty cool for what it is, and it's on 2 discs. And yeah, it was kind of cool to see this longer extended cut, or this extended story version of Bonnie and Clyde. Of course, the Warren Beatty film is awesome as well. Alrighty, then up next, well, we got ourselves a remake. Yeah, I had no idea that they were even remaking this, and then I'm like, well, that title sounds kind of somewhat familiar. And then I did a little bit of research on it, and I grabbed it, and I'm like, seriously, that's awesome. Of course, I'm talking about, the star of, Spawn himself, and of course, what is his name? Gamble. Yeah, so here we have Michael Jai White in Welcome to Sudden Death. Yeah. Now, this movie is a remake of the Jean-Claude Van Damme film Sudden Death. I've not actually seen this particular movie, but, what can I say? I'm not going to complain because, it's got Michael Jai White in it, and, he's going to kick loads of ass left and right. So, there you go. Alrighty, so up next, we have a movie that, yes, I have this in my DVD collection already, but I'm not really going to complain because this thing was $2, and I swear, this thing at Walmart, this thing is like, what, $30 or whatever, but for some weird reason, Walmart or whoever decided to distribute this, hey, let's put it in a DVD case. They did that with multiple movies. You know what I'm talking about. But, of course, I can't really pass it up because, hey, for $2, you literally get 3 discs of the same movie. One in standard def, the other one in HD, high definition, and 4K. Yeah, $2, I kid you not. The Hunt for Red October. Oh, yeah. And I know they've done this with other movies. Like, for example, I know that they've done it with Patriot Games and I think one other, I think. But what's kind of cool about it is I was looking at it. Now, it did not have a digital copy, unfortunately. But so here we have the 4K, which is typical. And then we have the Blu-ray here. But the DVD is actually the special collector's edition, which I thought was kind of cool. I figured it was just going to be bare bones. But what's kind of funny is that see, I don't understand this. So, okay, maybe somebody could write, if any of you tech-savvy people out there know the reasoning behind this. Okay, so here it is. You have 4K, right? It's supposed to be the best of the best picture quality as of right now. And here it is, great picture quality, great sound. But when it comes to bonus features, why would you only put a commentary on here when you have a Blu-ray, which is basically just a tiny step down, has your bonus features? Why can't you ever put your bonus features on this disc? And supposedly, there's a lot more memory storage on here. Somebody write down in the comments down below. Maybe they can explain that to me. If it's because the movie takes up so much space on the disc, well, then that's just stupid, in my opinion. But still, though, one of the best submarine movies ever made, if not also one of the best movies that was ever made, period. One of the best Sean Connery movies of all time, plus also John McTiernan's direction in this movie, as well as Basil Poledouris's score. Amazing, amazing movie. Check it out if you have never seen it. Of course, based off the book by Tom Clancy. Alrighty, then up next we have, this one's definitely a reacquisition. Now, I do have these, but when I bought them, they were just the slim cases. They did not have the slipcover. Got this for a couple bucks, surprisingly. We have Roots, The Next Generations. And what I mean by that is, so I did have, when I bought these at a yard sale, it was like this, literally. Just like that. They didn't have the slip case or anything. They apparently lost it or whatever. And I'm like, why would you not keep this? I mean, seriously. So, but anyways, so can't wait to sit down and rewatch that. I think I may have. It's either that one or it's Roots that I haven't seen all the way through. I can't remember. It's been so long. All right, and up next we have something that's definitely hard to find. Definitely a cartoon that's it's kind of for kids, but it's really not for kids, and I'll explain that in a minute. So here we have Droopy, the complete theatrical collection. Gotta add some classic animation to your collection, right? So what I mean by that, and I kid you not, this is literally right here on the back cover, okay? And it literally says right there at the bottom, Droopy, the complete theatrical collection is intended for the adult collector and may not be suitable for children. So there's a lot of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, hidden stuff going on in that animation. But what can we say though? I mean, come on, you gotta love Tex Avery's style of animation. They just don't do stuff like this anymore. They really don't. Alrighty, and for that, we got just a few Blu-rays. So, as I mentioned earlier, I had gotten The Birds. Well, come to find out, apparently that movie got remade. Terribly. Yeah, from what I understand, this movie is supposedly, according to CBS Sunday Morning, the worst movie of all time. I beg to differ, but we'll see. So here we have Birdemic, Shock and Terror. Yeah. Apparently the CG effects or the visual effects or whatever is so poorly done that you can tell how awful it is. But I think that's probably the fun value of it. But however, though, apparently this movie did enough to where they did another one, and apparently Tippi Hedren of The Birds actually makes a cameo appearance in this movie. So basically, we have maybe somewhat of a pseudo late sequel. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see how terrible that movie is, because sometimes you just need a good cheese fest. Alrighty, so then finally we have some classic movies on Blu-ray. Now these, of course, are Region 2 DVD Blu-rays, which is kind of awesome, because I don't have very many of these in my collection, but sometimes, though, their Blu-rays are better than ours. I don't know why that is. But, alright, so first, actually, the funny thing is, it's actually an Audrey Hepburn double feature, yeah. So here we have Audrey Hepburn, William Holden, and of course, Mr. Bogart himself. We have Sabrina on Blu-ray, yeah. Now, if it says this is for I'm guessing that is, it's region free. I would assume that these would be region free unless it specifies on here. But, hey, I got a PS4, so it should play it, no problem. And finally, we have, basically, this movie's an all-time classic. Surprisingly, I've never actually seen it. Yeah. But I know of it. I know, the song. I know that the movie made the song or whatever real popular or whatever. At least I think. Either that or it's the other way around. I don't know. But what can we say, though? But this movie has actually a buttload of extras on it. Yeah. So here we have Audrey Hepburn and, of course, Breakfast at Tiffany's. Yeah, so this is... I'm assuming that this is probably like a 50th anniversary edition or something along those lines. But, I mean, it is absolutely loaded with extras. I mean, you got commentaries. You even got a featurette on Harry Mancini, who, of course, did the score for this film, as well as, one of the best theme songs of all time, the Pink Panther theme. But what can we say? Well, it's also related to Pink Panther as well, because it's directed by Blake Edwards, who, of course, would go on to do pretty much the entire Pink Panther series. Which, funny thing is, I have those movies, but I've never actually watched any of them. Except for the Steve Martin ones. Those are okay. But I love the cartoon, of course, when I was a kid. Who didn't? That classic jazz score with, literally a Pink Panther getting chased around by a guy. By the cop, or by the inspector. Inspector Clouseau, I believe was his name. Yeah, what can we say, though? Classic movie. So, yep. Alrighty, well, that is it for the haul before the eclipse. Yeah, now there may be one more update before the eclipse, maybe. Maybe we'll call that the eclipse update. Maybe we'll see what classic. Maybe there could be some old school sci-fi. You never know what you'll find at a Goodwill. You just don't know. Alrighty, well, that does it for me to you for now. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. It's been a long day. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button. And with that, I'll see you guys next time.